Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I think it's all working fine. Maybe we could start with talking a little bit how are you today and what brings you here. Maybe what's your intention for today's practice. And as you're thinking about this, about maybe the intention and your goals, I wanted to kind of set up a little bit of some of my thoughts for this practice. So I've been thinking that the previous practices that we've done, they've been maybe a little bit too chaotic. And I know that some people found it helpful in, grounding and reconnecting to your body, calming your mind. But I've been feeling that I can bring a little bit more structure, especially when it comes to breathing, in using your breath as a kind of anchor to bring your attention back to the present moment. So today's practice is going to be all about breath, and I will demonstrate that it is safe to connect to your breathing, and there is an underlying structure that you can learn that can kind of help you to maybe provide some kind of container to your practice, regardless what kind of mindfulness practice you ever will do, whether it's simple grounding or mindfulness, kind of breathing mindfulness practice, whatever that is. Once you kind of master your breath, I think it provides that safe containers and safe structure that you can reuse in any kind of spiritual practice, any kind of mindfulness practice, whatever you want to do with that. So that's one thought. And the other thought that I wanted to share with you, which is kind of connected, is that many people, I think, find generally mindfulness or meditation kind of maybe boring or pointless, and I can definitely see a potential for it to become in a sense like maybe like a dissociation or something that kind of impacts your energy levels negatively, so that you kind of you focus on your breath. Maybe you kind of you sit there and then nothing's happening, so what is the point of the practice? And like I said, I can definitely see that there is a potential for any kind of mindfulness practice to become this kind of stale process where nothing is really happening. So that kind of again brings me to that structure I've been mentioning before, where that it doesn't have to be that way. And especially when you do the meditation or mindfulness practice correctly, you can see that it is actually a dynamic process, and there's a lot of things happening. There are a lot of things that you can get curious about, and there's a lot of things that can be helpful in your day-to-day life. And I think that for those of you that might find it boring, and I definitely have my times when I feel like I really don't want to do it. It's absolutely boring and it feels like a total waste of time. I could be doing something way more productive. I think these are the precise moments where there is benefit in sitting with that boredom and exploring that resistance and sense of maybe pointlessness or kind of staleness of energy. So sitting with that and exploring the barrier and finding out what is it exactly that is boring. Just sitting and doing nothing. Is there nothing interesting about experience? Because once you really calm your mind down, then I mean, everything is full of really wonder and magic if you think about it, right? The way our body functions, the way your breathing, it just comes in and out naturally, right? The way just everything is arranged perfectly around you. And yes, you can get bored with that, but I think there's also a lot of potential in finding that kind of childlike curiosity in just sitting and noticing what's happening. All right, so these are my kind of thoughts for today before we practice. So just as usual, we're gonna do the practice and then we're gonna do a little discussion. But today I will introduce a little bit of that structure I mentioned before. So we will do a little bit of a breathing control or breathing meditation where we will solely focus on the breath today, and we're going to do some counting as well. So I'm going to introduce you to the sequence of different types of breathings. We're going to do everything in very specific structure, very specific order, and I'm going to be guiding you, of course, throughout the whole process. So you don't have to remember absolutely everything, but I'm just going to explain what's going to happen just so you know what to expect. So we'll start with, of course, a little grounding and kind of focusing on your body, just to allow yourself to, go back to the present moment. Then we will do a long breathing. So what I mean by long breathing, for about 4 minutes or so, we'll start, obviously silently. I'm going to do a little bit of guiding on the beginning, but the long breath is when you count to 6, starting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until your belly. So you breathe in and you count all the way. Breathe in and you count up to 6. Once you reach the belly with your breath, you start counting again. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you're exhaling. So that's the long breath. Then we're going to start shortening the breath. We're going to do the medium breath breathing. So that's going to be count until 3. 1, 2, 3. Until your chest. And then 3, 2, 1. As you're exhaling. So this is like a continuous process. It's not like you're holding the breath. There's no holding of breathing. You're continuously inhaling and exhaling. And with each inhale and exhale, you're counting depending on how far the breath goes. So that's a long, medium breath. And then short breath, it's just 1, 1. 1, 1. So as you're counting, as you're inhaling, you're noticing where the breath is going. Inhale 1, 1, 1, 1. And then the last bit of the sequence will be where you let go of counting and you just notice the sensations of the breath as they're coming in and out of your nostrils. So is that clear? Does anyone have any questions? This is actually the first time I'm explaining it to someone, so I just want to make sure that my explanation is correct. So in case you have any questions, I'm going to give it a minute or two, and then we'll start. So this form of breathing is actually coming from a samatha tradition in Buddhism, which is all about developing a single-pointed awareness, meditation, tranquility of mind, and basically being able to completely quiet your mind without actually forcing anything. So just like in previous mindfulness practices, don't worry about controlling your thoughts, controlling your breath, or anything like that. You just focus on how far the breath goes, how far, how far where it goes inside your body, and then as you exhale. That's all you have to do. Every time you notice yourself, as you start maybe thinking, there's some discomfort in the body, you just notice, and then go back to your breath. If you find that, maybe it's too much, maybe there are some things coming up, just focus on counting. If focusing on your breath is too much, just focus on counting, and try to keep that rhythm of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. All right, I think everyone is clear. Let me set up, and then we will start. So as usual, make yourself comfortable. Sit down in a comfortable pose. Make sure your feet are touching the ground, whether you're sitting on the floor or on a chair or on a bed. And just kind of feel grounding yourself in your body. Put your palms on your knees and close your eyes. Now focus on your feet. Feel how the ground is supporting you. Focus on your knees, your thighs, hips. Relax any tensions and let go. Let go tensions of any tension that you hold in your shoulders, in your right arm, left arm, in your back. Just let go. Now notice your neck. Release any tension. Let go. Relax your face. And relax the tip of your head. Now we'll start with long breaths. As you inhale, you count to 6 and you notice how breath is going up to your belly. As you exhale, you count from 6 to 1 and notice how the breath is coming out from your belly, up through your chest, through your neck, throat, goes through your nose. Now when counting, really focus on the specific points as the breath is traveling through them. 1 is in your nose, 2nd is in your throat, 3rd is in your collarbone, 4th is in your chest, 5th is in your diaphragm, and 6th is in your belly, around the belly button. Notice how the breath is gently traveling through these locations. And just let your breath flow easily. You don't have to force it or strain anything. Now I'll switch to medium breath. So this is count up to 3. First point is in your nose, 2nd in your throat, 3rd in your chest. So your breath only goes up to your chest as you're inhaling, and then 3, 2, 1 as you exhale. Chest, throat, and nose. If there's anything coming up, you don't have to pay attention to it. Just return your attention back to your breath and counting. Now I'll switch to short breaths. So only counting to 1 as you notice your breath only passing through the throat. So inhale 1, exhale 1. Nice and slow. One, 1, 1, 1. Notice the sensation, how the breath is passing through your throat, through your nose, nasal passages. And now we'll drop the counting and just observe the breath coming in and out through your nostrils. If it's easier, focus on the nostril, left or right, whichever feels like it has a stronger sensation. And just notice breath coming in and out. Relax, but pay attention. Don't sleep. You're just witnessing everything that is happening to you. You're just observing. Might be thoughts, feelings. It's okay if they're coming up. Just go back to your breath and notice how you're inhaling and exhaling. And you don't have to control anything. It just happens naturally. Now I'll be slowly coming back. So we'll start with counting the short breaths again. So count to 1 as you observe the breath going through your throat. 1 on inhale and 1 on exhale. Now we'll do medium breaths again. Count to 3. And notice how the breath is going through your nose, throat, and chest. And we do long breaths now. Count to 6. Notice your breath in your nose, throat, around your collarbones, chest, in your belly. And then you notice how it's going back from that place. Now notice your face. Relax your forehead. Relax your nose, your mouth. Release any remaining tension from your shoulders from your back. Now feel your arms. Maybe you want to rub your hands together a little bit. Now feel your legs and feel your feet. And welcome back. Well, I'm curious, how did everyone find this practice? Did anything interesting come up? Anything that you find maybe challenging? If you encountered any specific challenges that, maybe you want to share them, or maybe you want to send me a private message so that I can help you out next time we meet. Even more relaxed. So the idea is that as you're building the habit of, anchoring yourself maybe to your breath, or to discounting, or, feeling your feet or your body, the idea is that in situations where, for example, your emotions are very strong, or in situations where there's lots of stress around you or pressure, you have this place that you can go back. That's the whole idea with mindfulness practice or meditation. You can always go back to this place, and that can help you to slow down, and then you can manage these situations way better than without that skill. Because, like during conflicts or stress, I think we are very prone to maybe, go along with whatever is happening, and then, it's very easy to lose control, and kind of do things or say things that we later regret. But with this mindfulness practice, what you're doing is that you're building that habitual place or habitual skill that you can use, that every time something like that happens, you can just go back to that place, and that can help you to manage the situations better. Just reading the comments, feeling peaceful and grounded. Lots of distractions and coming back to counting and the breathing. Very nice. Better focus than in regular sessions. Yeah. Observe the judgment of that. That it was too challenge. The shallow breathing was the most challenging. Okay. Yeah, I think that is the trick, to kind of go back to this place of witnessing, of observing, of, non-judgment, no judgment, no evaluation, no reaction to anything. You can, give yourself the space, and take time, um and then it is easy to handle things when they come up, even when it comes to things like doing therapy, right? What essentially, when you go to a therapist, for example, uh, a lot of a lot that therapist is doing is going to bring up, stuff from the past, maybe memories or emotions, things that are challenging for you. With the mindfulness, when these things is coming up, you have the skill to handle whatever is showing up in your experience, whether it's challenging feeling, whether it's challenging emotion. You just observe it, and as you observe things, you're learning that, oh, I can actually stay with my anxiety without completely losing control. Or maybe I can be angry at someone without throwing things around, right? So it gives you a little bit of that kind of headroom, or space between your reaction, automatic reaction, and, um, kind of controlled reaction, or choosing what you want to do. So that's for me, at least, that is the biggest benefit. And then there's more things like becoming maybe more creative, um, generally finding life a little bit maybe easier, I hope, for some people. So that's my perspective on the benefits. I'm curious if you have any questions, anything else that you would like to share before we go for today. And maybe you have any ideas for what you would like to experience or learn next time that we meet. That would be helpful too. I'm not sure if I'm going to run a survey this week, maybe again, but in case not, feel free to just send me your thoughts. Yeah, that was 20 minutes. Yeah. Like once you get into that state, it's very easy to just sit and relax and observe and kind of learn more about yourself and your mind and what's coming up. So yeah, it is interesting. Well, I don't see any questions. So I'm guessing everyone's good. I'll let you be and let you go. Again, if you have any thoughts, any questions during the week, just drop me a message or a comment. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you for joining today and have a good week.